Yeah, hi there. These comments are for Will, and I am Michael, your English language program instructor here at California State University, San Bernardino. This is tough. I mean, you definitely understand how to write, right? But let's go back to the question. Do you agree or disagree with the following statement? Businesses should do anything they can to make a profit. Use specific reasons and examples to support your opinion. So I went through the essay and read everything, and you have a lot of good ideas, but you're not exactly organizing around the writing prompt. So let's look at your thesis. You say scam, illegal investment, and laundering are typical types of this. So does that mean that you disagree with the statement? If so, then state it explicitly. You say scam, which is defined as fraudulent, are located everywhere. That's a fact. It's not really an argument. You say illegal investment is another type of making the money illegal, secondly. Again, that's a fact. Lastly, and the most common financial crime, laundering, is defined as using a variety of accounts in different banks to make profits. So your paper, it's reading like facts. It sounds something out of Wikipedia. You're just simply explaining to me different ways that businesses can engage in illegal activity. However, you need to frame this more as an argument. So businesses should not be allowed to engage in these kinds of activities, correct? And this is why you disagree with that statement. So with your first paragraph, I want to make it a little bit better connected to the actual writing prompt. So after what you said, I put, these illegal schemes can hurt people. As a result, I strongly disagree that businesses should be able to go, let me say this, they should be able to go to any length to make profits, right? So now we can see what you're saying, how it connects back to this writing prompt. Now, the second thing is we need to get these topic sentences framed as arguments. You say a scam, which is defined as fraud, are located everywhere, right? So with your second paragraph, I gave you a topic sentence. So it says, businesses should be restrained when making profits so they do not perpetuate scams, a type of fraud which happens a lot. So now I take this, and this connects a little bit better to your topic sentence. So as the techniques progress rapidly, the liars in these scams can have multiple ways to get the money. Nowadays in the US, frauds How about people committing fraud receive money by utilizing fabrication, the stories which are usually related to traumatic crimes in order to threaten the victims? How about these fake stories are compiled by one of the members in the group, and others follow the stories to guide the victims for handing in the money? But here is, instead of saying here is an example, just say to illustrate. To illustrate, I received over 8 phone calls in an hour during class last week. In my mind, the same call that keeps coming in might be some type of an emergency. So I put through the call. And answered it. The other side of the call said that they, and I'm going to use this, you need to use past tense here, right? They were the graduate institution of Alliant International University, and they found that some resources were not completed for me to do the application. By the time I was doing the application, I'm going to put not by the time, but at the time I was doing the application for this school in actuality, so I sent the personal information that they needed. Nevertheless, the phone was translated to the program later on. The person who answered the phone told me my passport information was no longer being used because the number of the passport was caught by the police for the reason of laundering. I realized that this, I'm going to use past perfect here, had been a scam, so I hung up the phone and I went to the bank to provide a new account in order to protect my money. Okay, so this is an example which illustrates your idea. So you might say, hence, businesses should be limited in their profits. They do not engage in this type of illicit activity. So what I'm doing in the end here, I'm trying to connect this back to your topic sentence in the beginning. So now we need to add to this idea. Okay, in your next paragraph, I'm going to say, in addition, businesses should not be allowed to make profits at all costs, so they're not tempted to engage in illegal investments. Here, so if you look at what I did here, I'm taking that topic sentence here, I'm connecting it back to the purpose here about how businesses should not be allowed to do anything they can to make a profit, right? So I'm trying to tighten up the structure of your organization. Remember that your topic sentences, if your topic sentences are arguments, then everything else is going to sound like an argument, right? So you say some business people lied to the common people by pushing them to invest their money for usury. Then we'll put a semicolon here so you don't have that comma splice. Nonetheless, the investments are all counterfeit web shops. An old lady that I met before I came back to the United States went to the police station to search for help. She told the police that she was lied. She was lied to by a salesperson from a large company. He told her that if she invested the money in the new, I'm going to give you an adjective here, technical project, she could receive a large number of benefits. However, the investment had lasted for over 2 years with no profit. She realized that she was being lied to after she called back to the salesperson with no answer for it. You might say, had this company been ethical, and had it not done everything to make a profit, this poor woman would not have been, maybe we'll say, hurt. Okay, so with the last paragraph here, I'm changed. So lastly, businesses should not be given free rein to make profits, which might prevent them from the most common, I'm going to put the most common financial crime laundering, using a variety of accounts in different banks to make profits. The criminals that use this type to make profits are considered as intelligent, prisoners. According to criminal psychologists, the criminals are usually white-collar class members, maybe put in society. For instance, Chen Shu-bian, one of the ex-presidents for Taiwan, made trillions of UK dollars by doing this method. Trillions? Are you sure? Trillion is, I don't know anybody in the world who has $1 trillion. It sounds like this is too good. Anyway, so made trillions. Okay, UK dollars maybe by doing this method. He opened, how about hundreds of bank accounts in Switzerland, the US, and England? Then he did lots of investments in diverse companies and highly recommended those companies to transfer the money into those banks in order to gain more profits for him. Also, he put his salary into Switzerland in order to avoid, how about tax audits? I'm going to say tax audits here. After 5 years of presidential life, he was caught by the International Financial Organization. By that time, he had already received over, you can put 1 trillion UK dollars. Okay, so this example also shows why they should not be given free rein you might say something like, essentially, this business owner and politician should not have been allowed to engage in this type of, in this hungry, maybe, out of control search for profits. And this kind of connects back to what we've been saying earlier, right? Then you have your last, so businesses should make profits by using legal methods, but not illegal ones. You know, for the reasons above, I disagree with using all pass to receive profits. But since it can be so hurtful to society, okay, I think we got it there. So we'll take a look at your whole essay one more time. All right, let's take a look at your essay one more time. I'm going to make maybe a few more corrections here. So let's see what we got. The global financial corporation operate. Now, you don't need to come. I'm going to send you an email. I'll send you an email. Don't worry about it. The global financial corporation operates economic system for the whole world. Business people, who are known as the people engaged in the business system, such as accounting, bosses, etc., make, I'm going to change this to the plural, make profits for themselves by using diverse methods. So you're raising the topic, which is good. However, according to the International Financial Reporting Standards, some of the past that the businesses make, that the businesses, I'm going to put, use to make money are illegal. And then let's put, I'm going to say scams, plural. Scams, illegal investments, I'm going to make that plural. And you put launder, I'm going to put laundering. I think money laundering, it has an ing on it, it's a gerund. And laundering are typical types for this. These illegal schemes can hurt people. As a result, I disagree strongly that businesses should be able to go to any length to make profits. Okay, let's take a look at your next paragraph. This is an incredible paragraph, very fat, very developed. You say businesses should be restrained when making profits so they do not perpetuate scams, a type of fraud which happens a lot. As the techniques progress rapidly, the liars in these scams can have multiple ways to get the money. Nowadays in the US, people committing fraud receive money by utilizing fabrications. The stories which are usually related to traumatic crimes in order to threaten the victims. Good example. You say these fake stories are compiled by one of the members in the group and others follow the stories to guide the victims for handling the money. To illustrate, I received over 8 phone calls in an hour during class last week. In my mind, the same call that I'm going to change this to past tense here. The same call that kept coming, in my mind, the same call that kept coming might have been. Yeah, might have been some type of an emergency. So I put through the call and answered it. So what I did now is I kind of straightened out all those verbs. So everything is in the past. The other side of the call said that they were the graduate institution of Alliant International University, and they found that some resources were not completed for me to do the application. At the time, I was doing the application for this school in actuality, so I sent the personal information that they needed. Nevertheless, the phone was translated to the program later on. The person who answered the phone told me my passport information was no longer being used because the number of the passport was caught by the police for the reason of laundering. I realized that this had been a scam. So I hung up the phone and went to the bank to provide a new account in order to protect my money. Hence, businesses should be limited in their profits so they do not engage in this type of illicit activity. In addition, businesses should not be allowed to make profits at all costs so that they are not tempted to engage in illegal investments. Some business people lied to the common people by pushing them to invest their money for usury. Nonetheless, the investments, I'm going to change this to lie. Here, sounds like you're saying it's something that happens, so it's an occurring thing. So some business people lie to the common people by pushing them to invest their money. Nonetheless, the investments are all counterfeit web shops. An old lady that I met before I came back to the U.S. went to the police station to search for help. She told the police that she was lied to by a salesperson from a large company. He told her that if she invested the money in the new technical project, she could receive a large number of benefits. However, the investment had lasted for over 2 years with no profits. She realized that she was being lied to, and after she called back to the salesperson with no answer for it. Had this company been ethical and had it not done everything to make a profit, this poor woman would not have been hurt. Lastly, businesses should not be given free rein to make profits, which might prevent them from the most common financial crime, laundering, using a variety of accounts in different banks to make profits. The criminals that use this type to make profits are considered as intelligent prisoners. According to criminal psychologists, the criminals are usually white-collar class members in society. For instance, Chen Shui-bian, one of the ex-presidents for Taiwan, made trillions of UK dollars by doing this method. He opened hundreds of bank accounts in Switzerland, the US, and England, etc. Then he did lots of investments in diverse companies and highly recommended those companies to transfer the money into those banks in order to gain more profits for him. Also, he put his salary, I'm going to say he sent it. He sent his salary to Switzerland, maybe bank accounts, in order to avoid, I'm going to put tax audits. He did not want the IRS to tax him. So he sent the money to Switzerland to avoid it being taxed. After 5 years of his presidential life, he was caught by the International Financial Organization, and by that time, he had already received over 1 trillion UK dollars. Essentially, this business owner and politician should not have been allowed to engage in this hungry, out-of-control search for profits. Businesses should make profits, this is your conclusion, by using legal methods but not illegal ones. For the reasons above, I disagree with using all paths to receive a profit since it can be so hurtful to society. Okay, so to help you with your writing right now, so your grammar vocabulary is really, really high, so I don't have any major recommendations there. Just take a look at, I'm going to put writing lesson 5.2, one simple trick to improve topic sentences. Lesson 5.1, writing effective topic sentences. Take a look at that. I think that's going to be good. And then one more is thesis statements. Where is this one at? Creating sharply focused thesis statements for the independent writing task. I think that is a good one. How about lesson 4.2, how to frame a thesis for the agree or disagree type of writing prompt? Check that one out. I think we should be good there. So check out those. So if you make some improvements with how you're framing the essay, I think that your score can dramatically go higher.